Hi, my name's Kevin and welcome to another video. I've got a small job for work to do, and what it is, we've got a machine at work which is what they just call an end mill machine, which mills the ends of whatever we put in it really, but mainly aluminium extrusions and profiles. But what we've now got a job where we've got to machine the top and the bottom of a piece of profile. So we need to do that all in one go, just for efficiency of time and that. So what we've done, we've ordered a new shaft from the suppliers for the machine, and then we've had some blades made for us. So two blades, identical blades, 120mm in diameter, we've got a 6mm cut in depth on here, but we're going to have to adjust that to suit our needs. But these were water jet cut for the centres, and then obviously the teeth have been brazed on and shaped to the profile what we need to machine aluminium. So we've got two blades, like I say, identical, and what we're going to do, we're going to set these blades up on this shaft, one here, and then the spacing between the teeth to the next one is 32mm. So what we're going to have to do is machine a collar for that. I'll probably machine two collars, one smaller so we can just chop and change if we need to. So there'll be one collar between, and then the rest of the collars up to the top, and then obviously a nut is then screwed onto the top to hold it all in place. There is some adjustment on here because we don't know what depth we'll be cutting to at the moment until we get them, get this into the machine and set up, and we run a profile through and just see. So we've got some adjustment here, and we may need to adjust it, machine the collars down a bit more. I don't know yet. But we've got, I've taken some initial measurements, so we'll start off with that, and then obviously we'll just have to go from there. So anyway, I'll give you a close-up of what this actually looks like, and the blades and that. So here's the shaft which these are going to go onto. This has been machined, obviously, to suit the machine. It's not a tube, it is actually machined all the way through. You can feel all the roughness inside, and then obviously it's an exact fit on top of the machine. So you can maybe able to just see the machine in there, but probably not. Anyway, and then this sits on a spline on the machine, and so it doesn't spin. So that's that part, and then there's a left-hand threaded nut to hold everything in place on here. No, if I can, yeah. So that'll hold the whole lot in place. So here are the blades, like I said, two identical, and just normal blades, nothing special. Obviously with the right rake for cutting aluminium on the tooth profile and that. So anyway, so the first job we got is to just take this off. I haven't got a bull nose live center for the lathe, so what I'm going to have to do is make up just like a plug to sit over here, and then obviously to have a smaller hole in so it can go on a normal size live center. And then that way what I'll do is I'm going to machine all the collars to fit the OD of this tube, and then mount them all on here. I'll mount this in the lathe, and then I'll machine the whole lot in one go, and then obviously that's going to get all the circumferences of those correct all in one hit. So anyway, so that's what we're going to do, and that's the plan. So the plug's all machined, nothing special, just a piece of steel which I had to hand. So what I've done is I've machined this collar on here, which is the exact fit of the tube itself, and then obviously the smaller hole to go onto the live center. So I'll just slot that in there, and as you can see, that's a tight fit, which it needs to be obviously. So yeah, so I can now hold that between the centers. So what we'll do now, we'll make the collars themselves, and then we'll go from that. Right, here we are, we're all set up in the machine, ready to turn these down. For some reason this nut at this end is larger than the nut at this end, so what I've done is I've swapped these collars around. So this is the one which is going to normally sit here, just so I can turn it down and I haven't got to you know, interfere with this nut then. So anyway, we'll turn this one down, swap it, you know, swap them around again so this one's on this end, and then we'll machine the rest. Right, so that's this one down to size. So what we need to do now is to move this one down to the bottom here, and you'll see the difference in that size of that nut. So we'll take the plug out. I've already loosened this off, so spin the nut off and then swap all these around. So that's going to sit on the bottom, and as you can see there, the size there between the nut and the, so, and then, oops, that one round that way. And then put the nut back on. I've locked the head off so the lathe won't turn, so we can just tighten this up. And we just got to be a bit careful just to not upset this in the setting in the lathe. Put the plug back in. Just give it a hammer. Right, just give that, hit that home. Right, bring the centre up. Right, and just tighten that up. And then we're ready to now machine the rest of it back down again. Just move my tools out of the way. Unlock the head on the lathe and check it. And we're ready to go again. these bits of steel, this one here, the small ring, and this ring here, are obviously different to these two. It's taken, you know, it's a harder cut, so obviously they're better quality steel, I would say. They should be, I thought they were all the same, but anyway, we'll just grab a pair of pliers and we'll pull all that off there. If you haven't done much machining, you know, never grab that and pull it, because if that's trapped on there and you pull it, that will cut you to shreds. So always use a pair of pliers, you know, to pull anything, you know, if that's attached like that. So I'll grab my pliers, and as you can see, that's quite hard, you know, and that will just cut you like anything. I think that tip is probably getting a bit worn now. It's been on there a while, but anyway, we should just get enough life out of it just to complete this job anyway. So back to it. So here we are, we're all down to size. I'm just going to let that cool down for a while. There's a bit of heat in there, and then we'll just give it a run over with some emery, and then that'll be the job done. What I'll do then, obviously when we take these off here, they're going to be sharp on the edges now, so I'll just chamfer those edges. So I'll show you that in a little while. Anyway, we'll just let that cool down, and then we'll carry on. Well, I've got the chamfer tool in here. I've just got enough room in here in between the nut, where the rounded corners of the nut is, onto the, you know, the actual collars themselves. So I've just got enough room to get that in there without it, you know, without it crashing. So anyway, so what we'll do now, we'll swap these around, and we'll, you know, obviously do each one in turn, and then the end of each one as well. So anyway, they're still pretty warm, so we're going to let that cool down and come back to that. Right, it's cooled down enough, so we'll start doing this now. Just move that out of the way, take the cap off, and same again, just lightly, just have to lock that head. Just undo that. Right, take the nut off. I've already done this collar itself, so we'll just do the rest. So as you can see here, this is the collar already done. Now I just took the rag off, that's all, just so, you know, when we're changing collars over, it isn't going to cut you. Right, so next one, might as well take them all off. Put that one on. That'll start, right. And then we'll do the next one. And lock that back on. Oh, left hand thread. Right, spin that on. And then just lightly tighten. Now we don't need to put a lot of tightness on there, just enough to keep it on there. Put the spigot back in, and then, right, unlock the head, check it, and then we're ready to machine this one. Right, so that's that one done. Then we'll swap these over, put that one next to the other one. And carry on. I'll do the small one this time. So here we are, we're all finished and all turned down to size, all polished, and obviously you can see here all the little chamfers just to stop people from cutting their hands when they're changing blades. So we'll take the plug out, we don't need that now. What I am going to do, I'm going to blacken each of these parts. That will, obviously help against rust prevention and that, so we'll move on to that now. Right, we're all ready to blacken these parts now. So here are all the parts what we're going to be blackening. Got some old engine oil here, just an old brick for the heat, and the bullfinch torch. So we'll start with the first one and we'll just light the torch. We're now starting to get a bit of heat into it. That's the first one. Next one. Right, so we'll just let them cool off, and then we'll have a look and see how rich, how black they are. We may need to give them another go, but we'll have a look and see how they go. Well, here's the finished job. I didn't need to do any more blackening on them parts. So that's all good, all finished, ready to take it back to work and set it up in the machine. Anyway, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.